JFD, just fair and direct.
Okay, hello and good morning everyone. Welcome to JFD Traders Espresso with me, Darius Anucauskas. Today is the 18th of May 2022. So yep, welcome everyone. Welcome to this Wednesday's morning session where we're going to have a very quick look at the markets, view the charts, the usual stuff. But before we do that, as always, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, I'll give you a few seconds to read the rest and we can continue. Okay, so now then, also just before we jump into the charts, as always, quick mentioning of our JFD YouTube channel, to which you can always subscribe to in order not to miss any of our upcoming videos, and of course our JFD Bank, JFD Brokers website, which we update on a daily basis. So yep, I believe you can find a lot of useful information here, especially if you click here on Start Learning and Market News and Analysis. So, and I think you can get plenty of interesting tips. Right, now then, jumping into the charts, guys, the first one on the pickup here is Nikkei 225, so we managed to push through this downside line, taken from the high of the 30th of March, but yeah, as you can see, it kind of swiftly drifted back down, and ended the session just bang on this line. However, this still gives a bit of a positive spin here, or should say it could give a positive spin here on this one, especially let's say if we see now the next candle kind of opening up above this downside line, then yeah, of course, this could lead to some higher levels here, or should I say to a larger correction to the upside, because don't forget that on a slightly bigger picture, we are still trading below this downside line taken from the high of the 14th of September of 2021, which could still continue to provide resistance. Now, if we open up, of course, below this short-term downside line, then yeah, maybe we're not really done with the downside yet, and we could see this one, drifting back to the downside a little bit. So, in other words, guys, for now, if you are looking for some higher levels on this one, well, probably the easier option could be to wait for a push above this barrier, the 27,072 area, somewhere around here. As you can see, today it did act as a fantastic resistance zone. So yeah, like I said, this could be that little safer option. Of course, we'll continue monitoring the situation in Europe and the US today, but if those decline somehow, if those, then maybe Nikkei could get pulled after it, and after those, and we could see this one declining. So, in other words, like I said, keep your eyes on the situation today with the European and US indices. But at the moment that looking at this Nikkei from the technical perspective, then yeah, we can see that this 27,072 territory is something to watch. And if we push through that, then yes, this may attract more buyers into the game. For the downside, now this is where I'll make a few adjustments. So for the downside, I would prefer maybe to wait for a drop somewhere below this hurdle, this 26,439 zone, and if we do drop below it, then yeah, we could aim for this upside line taken from the low of the 9th of March, and then we will just take it from there. So let me just put an arrow on our chart right here, and then yeah, we'll just, like I said, go from there if we do see a drop back below this hurdle. Now jumping into Shanghai Composite very quickly. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one because basically the same kind of idea is still valid, and I talked about this and I said that, well, I need to see a push above that 3100 zone in order to get comfortable with the upside. So far we're just kind of teasing that area but not really getting a a strong move above it. So in other words, I am waiting for this one. I'm not really bearish because I would need to see a drop somewhere below this 3034-35 zone, just to be a little bit more on the safe side, because at the same time we would be dropping below the below all of these lines here, and then yeah, potentially then this could attract a few more sellers into the game. The German index DAX, yeah, there we go. So beautiful move to the upside. We managed to clear up this barrier, which was the downside line, and of course this is attracting a few more buyers now into the game. So if you're looking for some higher levels, guys, then of course, yes, as long as we remain above that downside line, then we could continue aiming a little bit to the upside. I'm not gonna drag this one way too much higher, but a little bit more to the upside could be possible, where the next target could be this 14,315 zone. Currently the cash index is sitting at around 14,216 zone, so yeah, basically slightly above yesterday's close. And yeah, if, like I said, if we continue to trade above this downside line, I'm aiming for this hurdle, this 14,315. But if that gets cleared, now that's where it could become much more interesting for a few more buyers, and we could then target that 14,603 zone, and then we'll just take it from there. For the downside, I will probably stick to the same idea. Now, I would like to see, of course, for me to get a little bit more comfortable with the downside, I would like to see a drop below that 13,829 zone. However, depending on how this is going to trade and how far we're going to move to the right here or to the upside, I'm going to keep a close eye on this little hurdle right here. This is the 14,034 zone, so a nice good drop below it may attract a few more sellers. I mean, may spook some buyers from the field temporarily. However, the only little issue here that I have is the 21-day EMA, which could still, do its job and provide support. However, we've seen in the past that sometimes it doesn't always do the trick here, so it just kind of it acts sometimes as a gauge when let's say if we're rising or declining, we kind of continue to oscillate in a way around that 21-day EMA. So even if let's say when we move to the downside, we still oscillate around that 21-day EMA. So in other words, this could be a good gauge. I mean, good target if we see a reversal here to the downside. But in terms of the levels, I would say I'm sticking to this 14,034 area for now. This is where I'm gonna start getting cautiously bearish. But more, for me to get a little bit more bearish, I would need to see maybe a drop below that 13,829 zone right here. The S&P 500. So okay, so this one managed to push nicely, and look at this. So I talked about this index yesterday, or actually from Monday, and I was saying that if we stay below that 4,081 zone, or sorry, 4,061 area, if we stay below it, then another decline like this could be possible. However, we climbed above it and we managed to push through and stay above that 4,081 zone right here, marked by the high of the 9th of May. Now the cash index right now is, let me just quickly double check, it's at actually bang on that area right now. So so yeah, this is still looking quite promising. However, if you remember, I said that what I'm going to be aiming for initially will be this 21-day EMA, which is near that 4,147 territory, approximately around here, guys. A few adjustments have to be made here, of course, just to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. Just bear with me one moment. So one of the things that you can keep an eye on, of course, is something right here. Now, of course, this kind of slightly conflicts with the idea that I just mentioned, because, well, because we have this downside line here, because I was kind of aiming for this hurdle here, but the only thing is why I'm kind of, you know, considering still this idea to the upside a little bit, because, well, this is a tentative downside line and we only have 2 touches here, and it's not really, you know, yeah, it could be significant. However, we always need to kind of consider all the potential options here. So for now, I would say, if you're a little bit on the careful side, on the skeptical side, what you can do is wait for a break of this downside line. However, yeah, I'm gonna start, like I said, I'm gonna start looking at some higher levels already, but only up until this 21-day EMA near the 4,147 zone. But again, like I said, this is going to be a key important area to keep an eye on. If we clear this, then yeah, like I said, that's where I'm going to aim for. I'm going to aim for that 21-day EMA. If we struggle, let's say to clear that downside line, or I should say, I mean, if we struggle to stay above the downside line, of course, maybe there could be potential for a bit of a, you know, a bit of a move to the downside. But I would probably, at this point, I would probably stick to this 4,056.61 area right here. So if we drop back below it, that's where I'll get a little bit more excited with the downside maybe again. And yeah, I'm gonna aim for this hurdle, this inside swing high of the 12th of May near the 3,965 zone. But if that gets clear, then yeah, my next target is the 3,853 level right here. But again, like I said, we are at a very interesting spot, so let's see how this is going to play out. Nasdaq 100. So this one's also slowly grinding higher, and yeah, we could see this one drifting a little bit more to the upside. We do have this downside line, but it nicely coincides with that 21-day EMA. So in other words, I'm still aiming for that 21-day EMA, or at least the area near that 21-day EMA, and then I will just take it from there. If we break this downside line and stay above it, then yeah, we could go for some higher levels. But at the moment, it's like I said, there is still hope here for these sellers. Can they kind of jump in somewhere around this area near the 21-day EMA or this downside line? Well, let's wait and see. But at the moment, I'm targeting that, and for me to, let's say, start moving or aiming to the downside, I would actually prefer to see a drop somewhere maybe below this 12,136 territory right here, just to be a little bit more on the safe side. DXY dollar index, so beautiful decline, guys, beautiful move to the downside. I talked about some of these levels, and yeah, initially I was talking about this 104.46. I said that if we clear that and stay below it, then yeah, further declines are possible. My next target will be this 103.82, which we managed to reach. And then I said that if that gets cleared, then this could lead to a larger correction to the downside, because don't forget that we are still trading above this upside line taken from the low the 31st of March. Now, for now, I would say this way, that I'm going to aim further to the downside, but only initially. I'm going to aim for this 102 point, or actually 103 somewhere area around here. Let me just, it kind of almost coincides with this 21-day EMA as well. So this 103 territory is my next target. I do understand that we're not really far from that, but you know, this is DXY. We'll go slowly on this one, and if that gets cleared, of course, then yeah, we have this upside line taken from the low the 31st of March, and then we'll just take it from there. But at the moment, my first target is the 103 zone near that 21-day EMA. Gold is yeah, declining, and look at this beautiful move, guys. I mean, yesterday I talked about this. I said that we might get that retracement where we could test maybe or come closer to the to this upside line and this downside line, and if that holds, well, another decline could be possible. And so far everything's working according to the plan, and to be honest, I will stick to my plan right now, and I'm going to continue aiming to the downside. Now, of course, I understand that the question here is why DXY is if DXY is dropping, then gold should kind of maybe push a little bit to the upside here. In this situation, I think that it's more of a safe haven status, kind of, or the battle for the safe haven status. Yeah, that's happening. So both of them are kind of seen as safety options for investors. So at the moment, yep, we are losing that interest here in gold because the equities are pushing a little bit more to the upside. So yeah, let's see, like I said, let's see how far this can move to the downside. At the moment, I am targeting this hurdle, this 1800, or actually 1799 zone, or around that 1800 level, and then if that gets cleared, then yes, I'll go for some of these lower levels. Now jumping into WTI oil very quickly. So yep, beautiful hold up, guys, and look at this. I mean, I talked about this recently, and I said that if this hurdle, this 114.79 zone, which is let me jump back into the chart here, which is the highest point of 2011, if it holds, then we might see another decline right here, and yeah, we could see a bit of a correction. So look at this perfect doji forming yesterday. I would say I will aim for a bit of a retracement here, maybe towards this 111.34 territory marked by the high of the 5th of May. Of course, ideally I would prefer to see maybe a move back to the 21-day EMA, but yep, so far it's let's go slowly actually on this one. Let's not overcomplicate things, and for now, also this idea of a rising channel pattern is also working out. So let's see if we can actually get a retracement all the way back to the lower side of this rising channel. But again, at the moment I'm gonna go slowly on this one for now. If it continues to struggle to push through this 114.79 territory, then yeah, I'll initially aim for this 111.34, and if that gets clear, then I'll aim for that 21-day EMA. For the upside, now for the upside, I would like to see actually a push not only above that highest point of 2011, but also maybe for a push above this 116.61 zone, and then yeah, we could go for a few higher levels here. But at the moment, we're just stuck here, so we're kind of playing the waiting game. Bitcoin, so very quickly on that one. To be honest, if you remember, I talked about this highlighted territory last week, and I said that if it somehow manages to remain above this this whole area, then maybe there's still hope for the buyers, and we could see a nice rebound here to the upside. So if we start dropping below this highlighted territory, which is roughly between the 29 zone, 29 territory, somewhere around there, guys, 29,000, I mean, if we drop below that, then that's where it could be opening the door towards much lower levels. And to be honest, if we do drop and stay below this highlighted territory, well, this could turn out to be ugly for the crypto bulls, because this could start moving maybe towards all the way towards the highest point of 2017. If you remember that first sharp move when the whole kind of hype started about crypto, and yeah, so we might be traveling all the way there. However, I'm not going to rush into anything yet, so for now I'm just keeping an eye on this highlighted territory. For the upside, if you're looking for some higher levels, then well, ideally maybe a push through this 32,990 933 zone, somewhere around here, maybe could do the trick. However, we do have this downside line in the way, so you know this could still be seen as a temporary correction before another possible leg of buying. So just be careful on that one. Now jumping into a few pairs, guys, very quickly. AUD USD, of course, pushing higher. Obvious because DXY is declining. So we're seeing a nice, corrective move, a corrective move higher. Because the reason why I'm saying corrective, because we're still below this steep, actually downside line, taken from the high of the 5th of April. I will aim for a little bit more here, up until this 21-day EMA, this downside line, and then if it holds again, another decline could be possible. So don't exclude that option. This is going to be pretty straightforward, to be honest. If it's going to break this downside line and stay nicely above it, then yeah, maybe this is where we could it could attract more buyers, and we could start aiming for that 0.7265 level, and then we'll just take it from there. So in other words, if we need to see a break of this downside line in order to go for some higher levels, much higher levels. AUD and ZD. So this one's one of my favorite ones, and look at this one. Look at this choppy session. I mean, it keeps on trading above. Overall, yeah, of course, it goes up and down, but it keeps on trading above this upside line, this steep upside support line taken from below the 27th of April. So yeah, if you're looking for some downside, then a break of this upside line is needed. And then we will aim for the other upside line here, taken from the low the 15th of March. So yeah, a lot of confirmation here is needed for the upside. I will continue to take my conservative approach here and wait for a push above this 1.1111 zone here, and then yeah, this will confirm a forthcoming higher high, and then I'll go for these higher levels. But at the moment I'm just observing this one because it's quite interesting, because we're very close to this upside line. But if we break it, then well, that's where more sellers could join in. NZD CAD, very quickly on that one. So I just wanted to quickly update you on this one. So I talked about this this pair recently. So we've managed to climb back to this downside line, and we've managed to kind of test it, and we're currently struggling with it, but eventually, by the way, if you remember on Monday I said that if we push, or sorry, Tuesday, if we push above this 0.8135 territory right here, then yeah, I will consider a bit of a move to the upside, and we got that. So yeah, everything's kind of working according to the plan right now. Yeah, we're just watching what's going to happen with this downside line. If it continues to hold, then certainly yes, another decline could be possible. However, I would prefer to wait for another drop below this hurdle, below this 0.8091 zone, and then yeah, we could consider a move to the downside. For the upside, well, this is where I will probably stick to the high of yesterday near the 0.8171 level. A nice good push through it may open the door towards that 21-day EMA. USD CHF, very quickly on that one. So yep, we've managed to actually, I wouldn't say break it, but yeah, we managed to kind of break the upside line here, taken from the low the 14th of April. So yeah, this is not really looking good right now for this pair. However, a lot will depend, of course, on DXY. If you're looking for some levels here, let me just adjust probably just to a little bit more, to be more up to date. I think these need to go, old lines, some of them, but yeah, if we drop below yesterday's low near the 0.99819 level here, then yes, I will consider a further move lower. Simple as that. That's going to be my game plan. Initially, of course, I'm going to aim for that 0.9873 zone right here, but if that gets cleared, then yeah, like I said, it could open the way all the way towards that 21-day EMA. For the upside, I would prefer to wait for a push above the 1.0028 level right here, and then go for some higher levels. USD JPY, very quickly on this one before I run out of time. Actually, guys, this one is forming something that could be seen as a bearish indication here. So it's kind of a very small bearish flag of some sort. So so yeah, and I wanted to say also like the bearish 3, all those methods, you know, but it's not really an ideal one, so I'm kind of gonna stick just to the bearish flag pattern. However, I would like to see a drop below the 128.62 territory right here in order to go for lower levels. So as you can see here, we're struggling to push back above this 129.80, with the level which I've considered previously as a good area of support, and I said that if that gets broken, that could open the door towards lower level, if you remember a few videos ago. Yeah, we're now testing that from underneath, so it's showing that it's a very strong area of resistance. So that's why there is a potential for this one to move lower. However, I would prefer to see a drop below this 128.62 level first, and then I'll go for lower levels. GBP JPY very quickly on this one. So yeah, it pushed through this downside line, and by the way, if you'll check the economic calendar, we did get the British CPI figures. Those did not meet its forecasts, but you know, they still came out better than the previous numbers, but they didn't really meet the forecast. So yeah, we are seeing a bit of a decline right now in the pound. However, I think the investors might, you know, regroup here, and maybe they will see it as a good thing for today. I mean, maybe they will get a nice rebound here from this 21-day EMA on GBP JPY and push higher. If you're not comfortable with that, just probably stick to the high of yesterday near the 161.85. A nice good pop above it may open a door to slightly higher levels, like for example this one right here, the 163.57. GBP USD, also quick update. So yep, beautiful move yesterday to the upside. Look at this, we cleared some of the levels. This 1.2411, I talked about this, and I said that if we push through it, then my next target is the 21-day EMA. We basically almost managed to touch that 21-day EMA, but I'll take that. So now my question is, can we see something like this? And at the moment, I'm considering this idea because, as I said, DXY right now is not really feeling very well. So we might see, if we see further declines on the dollar, then this could help GBP USD make a move to the upside here, where my next target could be this 1.2638 level. GBP CHF also at a very interesting spot right now. I just wanted to quickly update you on this one. If you remember, a while ago I talked about this potential range idea. And we're now testing the upper side of it, so which is also near this downside line, taken from the high of the 5th of April of 2021. So if you're looking for some higher levels, then certainly a breakthrough all this is needed. I mean, this is the upper side of the range and also the downside line, so clear breakthrough that could attract a few more buyers, guys. So at the moment, I would say, you know, if you're, oh, and by the way, this idea worked out nicely. A push above the 1.23 zone. I said that if we climb above it, then I'll aim for this area. Mission accomplished. Now, like I said, if we need to see a clear breakout through this downside line, through the upper side of the range, if we get that, then yep, I will get a little bit more excited with the upside, and I'll aim for that 1.26 territory, somewhere around here. For the downside, now this is where I need to adjust it a little bit, and I think now this level, this 1.23, could become the level to watch for the downside. If we drop below it, then I'll aim for lower levels. And finally, EURUSD. So beautiful retracement here. Look at this. I mean, I talked about this level, this 1.0495. Yes, we are now doing a good job here, or should I say the bulls are doing a good job here by bringing this one above this 1.0495 area and keeping it there. Now I'm leaning a little bit more towards the upside. However, we still have this 21-day EMA and this downside line taken from the high of the 31st of March. If we stay below it and we struggle to move above it, then another decline could be possible, guys. However, at this point, I would rather wait for a drop below this 1.0495 territory again in order to get a little bit more excited with the downside. For the upside, let's say the larger extensions to the upside, I would like to see actually push above this 1.0636 level still, and then yeah, I will go for the upside. So guys, that's it for this session. I really hope you found it useful. Thank you very much for watching and listening. I really appreciate your time, guys, your views, your likes, your comments in general, overall. Yep, I mean, that means a lot for me, so thank you very much for that. Like I said, I hope you found this useful. If you want to catch me tomorrow morning, as always, at my traders Espresso, 6 o'clock GMT time. For now, have a beautiful trading day, guys. Stay safe, have your stop losses in place, and everything will be fine. So, thank you very much, and bye-bye.